Hello, I'm Calvin Hong, and I'll be talking about conservative versus liberal within Korea and how K-pop influences that. Firstly, the aim of this follow is to address the relationship between language, meaning, and context. And for learning outcome, I chose to show an awareness of the potential for ideological influence of the media. And I first thought of this when I read the article of female empowerment or exploitation. And firstly, I saw this article and I thought it would be great to show you because it has 8 examples of female groups and short description of them and a music video which are not playing. It would have been really great if it actually showed the music video and showed it to you, but since that's not working, I gathered some GIF files, not GIF, GIF, which are quite sexual, so be aware of that. So I felt really uncomfortable searching these GIFs, but she wanted it. So 4 Minute and Girls' Day both have sexual dance moves, and they represent the female independence, and Girls' Day especially talk about some political and sexual emancipation. And Kain, oh, I feel really uncomfortable with this, has really sexual dance moves, and I'll just stop that. She talks about female sexuality and independence. She had much more sexual gifts, but I just tried to choose the most not. And Miss A talks about female empowerment. So is Korea liberal? So liberalism in South Korean K-pop is often displayed through their sexual dance moves. And I feel like the term liberalism is quite deformed in South Korea because when liberalism should actually be talking about how not conservative their thoughts are, they are actually trying to show that through selling sex. So is there any difference between these kind of liberalism and other sexually produced K-pop music from the industry? Is there any difference? Because in the long run, they are both objectified by men and used for male selling points. The conservative mindset deeply connects to Korea because the thought of Confucianism, which is quite similar to religion but not quite a religion, is really it highly influenced East Asian philosophy and ethics. And when I said it influences, when I said it's like religion a lot, because when Bible says the golden rule, do to others when you want them to do to you, Confucianism says do not do to others as they do not want them to do to you. So it's pretty similar. And the old is considered conservative, and this is why the old generation and the young generation often have conflict in between the generations. So this video is from News Tapa, which is a Korean site, and it talks about why Korea is conservative. How much time did I talk?
4 minutes.
Oh wow. I'm rushing through these.
Could I ask you a question?
Yes.
How does the conservative mind connect with K-pop?
Oh, we're going to talk about that soon. It's, so, as I said, K-pop usually shows their sexual dance moves to represent their liberalism,
Yes.
how they can take care of, how women can take care of their own, and how women should not be cared for objectify men and how they should be given the right to have independence and sexual emancipation. However, that is being used as a deformed definition against liberalism because the only thing they really care about when they think the term liberalism is their sexuality, and they just show their sexual moves only, which is not that much of a difference between sexually industrialized K-pop music. And I'm gonna get to conservative in a moment. So I'm not going to show this whole video. I'm just gonna skip through it. It's in Korean. I don't even need to translate because I will talk about the video soon. It starts off with Thorstein Veblen. I'll skip through. He uses dramatic music and sound effects to further dramatize the video and its meaning. And then they move on to Korea in the later parts of the video.
So what is it?
Yeah, I was just gonna summarize it. Or should I let you guys watch it a bit more? So this is currently talking about how the leisure class or the Thorstein Veblen states do not have that much of a need to change the world yet. But I will summarize the whole thing soon. And then it moves on to Korea later on. Here, it moves on to Korea. So on this slide, I was just trying to tell you and prove to you how this kind of media format, the video, is effective to convey its meaning through its dramatic sound effects and text transformation. So the video first starts off with the introduction of Thorstein Veblen and why the poor are conservative. Meaning, that statement is actually against the normal or the more belief theory. And through the theory of the leisure class, which Thorstein Veblen published, it talks about basically everything that goes against the normal theory of economy and the leisure class. So first thing, for example, the normal theory or the more accepted theory was that price versus demand. As price goes down, the demand will go up because the product is obviously cheaper. However, Veblen FX states that as price goes up, the demand will also go up because of the human nature of wanting to show off and wanting to show. So why are the poor conservative? The normal theory or the more accepted theory states that the rich or the leisure class are conservative because they are quite happy with the way they are and they do not want things to change because that might actually put their class into jeopardy. And the poor people are not that happy with their current state, so they will want to change things up, therefore being more liberal. However, Thorstein Veblen states that the poor are so preoccupied by their work or just to survive that they tend to want things to not change at all and therefore conservative also. And this influences Korean conservatism also because the 20s or lower age Korean people are expected to be much more liberal compared to the old generations. However, the Koreans suffer from high tuition fee, low paid part-time job, and insufficient insufficient job offers, which leaves them very preoccupied with their sole survival and therefore conservative. So one example I will talk about, which shows the hypocrisy between the Korean liberalism and how they show conservatism within themselves also, is that G-Dragon and Park Bom recently had a drug incident, and they were either banned from TV and the industry apologized. However, despite the industry's trials to settle the matter, their stock did tend to go down, and other negative effects has been influencing the industry itself. And this shows that if the artists or the music, lyrics, or anything of that sort is too liberal, according to Korean mindsets, even the expected liberal people will have negative reactions towards that kind of songs and behaviors. How much time? 5 left?
11.
Wow. Is there any questions?
So are you saying
Like
that
20%.
Young people became liberal because of those factors, like the previous slide?
No, I'm saying that as I said in the first few slides, the Korean young people or K-pop stars display their liberalism through sexualized videos, dance moves, and lyrics, which is quite a deformed meaning of liberalism itself, which is a problem in itself too. However, even the people who are expected to be more liberal is actually showing conservatisms in some aspects, and also quite hypocritic in that area because of these incidents where if someone shows too much of liberalism, that is also negatively responded. So I'm not saying that even though K-pop displays liberalism, South Korean people are not that liberal, but all.
And I also have a question, like on the previous slide, you talked about how poor leads to being conservative,
Yes.
but then how does that connect to Korea? So are you saying that Korea is poor? And
No, I'm not saying
therefore-
Korea is poor, but it has similar reasons, meaning that the poor are conservative because they're so preoccupied with survival and because they're so busy, right? Because they have low pay, but they have high working hours.
But
So-
wouldn't they want the society to become more liberal because then
Yes,
they
that
can
was
get
the more effective theory because that makes more sense to them at that time. But Thor Seinfeld came up with this theory because of his history of being an outsider, and he closely observed the poor and the rich and their discrepancies. So let me continue with the idea. The poor are conservative because they're preoccupied with work, right? And then I'm saying the South Korean people are also conservative because even though they're not poor, they're actually quite well being in, they can afford stuff. They have high tuition fee, low pay, part-time job, insufficient job offers, and etc. And therefore gives them not much time to think about themselves as leisure class,